How you doing? My name is Tony, and welcome to the Great Diminished. Welcome to the world of diminished. We're going to talk about diminished chords. I'm going to show you a couple of where places that we can put them at in a song, and a couple of weird places that we can move around and maneuver diminished chords that you've never seen, probably, or you probably have seen, but I'm going to show you. All right, first, let me play a little melody and just put them somewhere in different spots that you probably haven't heard them before, or you have heard them. Let's start right here. Okay. Sometimes you put diminished chords for passing. This is where I put them, and I put them if I'm in C sharp. I'm putting them on all of my passing chords, which is taking that and all of them were diminished, but half diminished. How you make a half diminished chord? First of all, a diminished chord consists of one, it's every, there's only 3 sets of diminished chords in this whole scale. So I'm taking this, since I'm in C sharp, taking it in a, moving it over. So I got a E, G, B flat, C sharp. Taking my C sharp and moving it up a whole step, which is the same thing as this E flat. Okay, so, and I'm hitting both of them. Break it down again. Dragging it. Same thing this. Whole step up. Doing it again. Whole diminished. All right, now we're going to show you how to chop up some diminished chords and diminished scales. When you're dealing with a diminished chord, you got to remember, a diminished chord is just 2 tritones. In C sharp, you're dealing with tritone for B flat, and the tritone is E. C sharp, G. I'm going to show you how to use that into chopping up stuff like, say for instance, we're in B flat. You know, the diminished F is, diminished B flat would be, okay, so we're going to chop that up. We're going to make that sound like this. Okay, that right there is just a trick. It's a trick you can put in any song, anywhere you put a diminished chord at. You can put it anywhere. If I'm gonna be in B flat and I hit a F in the B flat scale, I'm gonna chop it up. That right there is simple. It might look hard, but it's not. Let's go back to our tritones, okay? So we know we have that tritone, octaves, real simple. I'm taking this octave, so it's 1, 2, 3, try. Now, from here, first we was dealing with these two. Now when I inverted it, this is the high now. So it's you can even get creative. Let me put it in a phrase so you can better understand it. Hi. Next, we're going to talk a little on ragtime dealing with diminished. You use ragtime and diminished a lot, but a lot of people don't like to use ragtime because it takes you doing one thing with one hand and one thing with the other hand. You got to practice. I'm not really good at it either because I don't practice it. But if you practice it, you can master it and become very successful at this. Okay, that is number jumping, this ragtime. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm playing in C sharp. I'm trying to keep it simple for y'all. I'm playing in C sharp. Okay, I'm taking my C sharp major seventh, and I'm breaking that up. It's two tritones. It's two fifths. Tritones and fifths are very similar. They're 1/2 a step off. So anytime somebody tells you they want a fifth or something, they want the tritone. Okay? So if you want the tritone for C sharp, if you want the fifth for C sharp, okay, half a step off. We're going to deal with the fifths now and making it as diminished and ragtime at the same time. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this. C sharp, tritone, diminished. It sounds like I'm doing a lot, but what I'm doing is I'm just taking my right hand and I'm using the C sharp run scale and I'm making melody with this hand. And I'm just playing ragtime. You won't get that overnight. Just remember that. You have to practice this. This is a practice lesson that you have to run over and over. I'm finna break it down to you. Okay. Same thing, C sharp, that's the chord, okay? Taking that and breaking it up. See how A flat went to diminished? Fifths, diminished. Fifths, diminished. Ragtime, that's all it is. Back to diminished, fifths to diminished. Fifths to diminished. Wherever you go, fifths to diminished, just back and forth. Okay, I have never showed you the diminished run. We're going to go over the diminished run. So you will know what you're actually doing when you're doing a run in diminished. Sometimes it gets tricky, but I'm going to break it down to the point that you will know how to do a diminished run in any song. Okay? Uh, let's just start with a basic diminished run. Diminished runs is real close, similar to any run. Any run deals in your basic. Let's go back to C. Let's go back to the basics. That's a basic C major. Now, if you was to do the diminished for C major, listen. Just a little difference. But if you learn it, you'll be able to put it anywhere. That's it. We are in C. Let's go to F. F minor. F minor. So putting a diminished run in your song, usually you will put it in a song when it's coming off of the one. You won't never use it on a one unless you're just being real tricky. And I'm gonna show you that on our next lesson. But I just wanna show you the run, the basic run. I want you to get this run. So I'm gonna do it like 3 or 4 times and I'm gonna slow it down so you can get it. Fingering is very, very important. You got to get your fingering right, or you'll mess up going down every time I'm coming up. Okay? You already know basic. We talked it in the first lesson. Half. We talked it in the first lesson. So taking that and making it a run. Did it in 2 different keys. Just showing you that it's done in every key, but you can do it in any. You just got to know where to put it at. Right now, I'm hitting the F. If you ever listen to Chick Corea, that's my favorite artist in the world. He does a lot of diminished. Because of the run. You can put a diminished run anywhere, as long as you're putting it in the proper perspective. You in F minor, you wouldn't use, because you'll be in B flat. So, but if you're in F minor, you would use a C diminished run, which is how you doing? The next lessons are going to be on whole notes. It's only 2 sets of whole note scales, and we're going to go over them real fast. But first, I'm just going to break down a whole note. I'm just going to play a little bit in using my whole notes. Whole notes are very pretty notes. They're not used for a lot of praise, but it's used for a lot of talk music. Use whole notes doing talk music so the pastor don't get thrown off. It ain't nothing too big you want to do. It's regular notes. This is a what they call a perfect. This is a perfect E flat note. Okay. I talk a lot about perfectness because I watched a guitar player growing up. I didn't ever learn how to play from scratch. I learned from watching the guitar player, and he played a lot of these chords I'm playing. And I call it perfect because it's the same note, but it just sounds so pretty. It sounds almost perfect. I get perfect from two sets of scales. It's a minor and a major. Your left hand is always minor, your right hand is always major. If we are in E flat, I'm playing the relative, which is C minor, okay? E flat majors, the relative is C minor. In the E flat major, perfect note, you would play a C minor in your left hand. And your right hand would be a B flat major. How did I get this? I got it from the 6 and from the 5. In any scale, you have a 6 and you have a 5. And usually the 6 and 5 played together will give you a perfect 1. I don't know why. I guess the perfect 1 means 11, maybe. But that's how I come up with it. So I do a lot of that. I take that 1 and I move it down a whole step to the next 1. And a whole step to the next 1. To the next one. To the next one. Whole steps. My bad. Okay. I'm gonna play a little of this song. I think it's called "Jesus and Me," and just put it in there so you can hear it. Ain't no way I can use page a little bit. Okay. All right. See, I'll put it at the end of the song. Pastor's talking. I might not want to go down today. I'm going up. It's simple. All thing I'm doing is taking them up whole steps and I'm playing in every key. Now you have to learn how to play in every key to do that. You can't be able to play in 2 or 3 keys and think you're gonna be able to play like that. You gotta be able to break it down and know what you're playing. If I'm in B, I gotta know what my 6 and my 5 is. Okay? In B, your 5 is F sharp. And your 6 is, see what I got over here going? Okay, so you gotta know where that's at anytime you're dealing with playing. You gotta know all your keys. Don't get handicapped at playing 2 or 3 keys. Learn your keys, it's simple. Learn your scales, and learn your keys. Learn your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1 in every key, and you won't have that problem. Okay. The way I come back to that half step when I go down on that last one is because I did the whole scale. The whole scale is then it starts over. Instead of me starting over, I go a half step down to sort of end it. So instead of starting over, half step down. I could take this right here and go down some more. So it'll be the whole different scale. It'll be and that's the only two whole note scales you got. You got and you only got them two. So it should be simple if you practice it. I'm going to give you that scale one more time so you can practice it. My bad, I'm going over stuff. Here we go. Other one is only two. So okay. We have discussed diminished chords and we dealt with whole notes. I hope that's been very interesting to you. Now we're going to deal with some of the stuff that's not dealing with notes. We're going to deal with atmospheres. We're going to deal with worship and praise. First, I want to deal with worship. There's three basic things in worship that I always alliterate. The first one is a 6-4-2. Remember, learn your numbers. 6-4-2 is basically what you can play at any time. 6 chord is we in C sharp. The 6 is minor. Okay. 6, 4, 2. Remember that. 6. You can always do that. Don't never speed it up. I'm gonna do it like you're supposed to do it, but it's not supposed to be never rushed. That's how you get the most out of it. So I'm gonna play a little bit for you, about 5 seconds. Now, basically, when they're praying or they're going up, you can always create an atmosphere with 6-4-2. Just remember, 6-4-2 in any key will push you there. And to put them there, you can even take the 6-4-2 and elaborate. Use some diminished in it. Use diminished. You can even use half notes. Now, everybody should know what 6-4-2 is, but just in case you don't, I'm gonna break it down for you. 6, we are in C sharp. I always love to play the full piano. Sometimes you can't because you got one musician, but I always try to teach myself to do that. Play the whole note. Cluttered. We talked about clutteredness, octaves, okay? Cluttered note don't always have to be diminished. It could be cluttered. It's just a cluttered note using your octaves. This could be cluttered. These are my octaves. Okay, so. On my 4, I always like to use my 7th. It's tritones. You can even use it for the 5. It's the same thing. I'm just changing the 4 and the 5. So it's 6, 4, 2. See how I did that? Put that diminished in there. You can always put whatever you want to put in that, but make sure you remember where to put it. Remember your diminished. You don't want to put that on a 1, which is a 6 right now. You don't want to do that. Also, as we alliterate more on the 6, 4, and 2, sometimes I play around with my 6. 6 doesn't always have to be 6. It could be 1. Okay? So in worship, it just depends on the feel. Let's go back to 6, 4, 2, and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. 6, 4, 2. Watch 6 turn to 1. The reason you can play the 6 and make it a 1 because 6 is the relative key of 1, okay? You can't do that with everything. Sometimes you can make the relative key for 4. For 4 can be 2, but it just depends. Sometimes people tend to take the 6, 4, 2, and go to 5. I say stay away from that because if you go to 5, it'll sound like you playing like somebody else. My feel is if you give it your own feel, 4, 2. I don't even go back to 5. I go to 4. I go. Almost like it's not stopping. And it kind of helps you to flow and keep going and moving if you don't go to the 5. Because once you go to the 5, it's like you're finna wrap it up. 5 is always a wrap-up key before you go back to the 1. We just talked about the 6, 4, 2. Now we're going to use the same 6, 4, 2, but sometimes we don't want so much bass movement. Sometimes in worship, you can stay right there with your bass on that 1 note, and you can just go where you want to go between 6, 4, and 2 in your right hand. Let me alliterate. Back to the same melody. Watch this. Okay, what I did was I took my bass note and held them for the notes. Then I took my 4 and I played the same notes. Then I went to 2. Let me break that down for you just a little more. See that clutter note in there? Same 3 notes, but I'm just chasing my bass now. Now another series in worship that we're going to deal with is another way I play. I like to play. I call it dark melodic, but I get it from 007. I used to watch a lot of 007 when I was like 9 or 10, and I watched him and watched him, and I love the way his intros was. I call it dark melodic, but it might be another term. So for worship, let's say for instance where we worship you in the spirit. Okay, see how I put the little James Bond in there? So when you're dealing in worship, you can always just kind of ride on the one. I like to play with the ones and the fours. You can even use that scale I taught you earlier and diminish. Sometimes they use this in worship when they say hallelujah. When they get into worship, they don't want no music. You can even change the key. Break that down. That's a real simple breakdown. Anytime you're dealing in minor, you have a 6, that's really a 1, okay? And you have a 3, that's really a 5, okay? Once you get into the terms, you'll know what I'm talking about. 6, relative of C sharp, B flat is relative of C sharp. So the B flat is the 6, C sharp is the 1. 1, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? I'm taking the 6 and I'm making that 1. So the 3 is going to be a 5. Okay? I'm taking the 1 in the C sharp scale. So it's only thing you do is you take that 5, go 1. Go up another one. If you're really bold, you can go up another one. You can even go down, give it a tritone effect. The only finger I'm moving is my 5, and I'm creating so much music just by moving that 5. And I'm cluttering it. That means I'm taking my top. Remember what cluttered is? Your octaves. I'm taking them octaves. Let's move. Keep walking down. Let's move again. Move. Let's go down and move down. You can move again. And what you're doing is you're creating an atmosphere with that melodic minor. I call it a melodic minor. It's just dark. It's a dark chord. Some pastors won't like it, so you gotta to each his own. Some Baptists don't like it. Holiness do. But okay, so breaking that down is very simple. I'm gonna do it one more time for you, and from there you just practice in every key. Every key. Only thing I'm moving is this. Another thing about melodic, it's more classical. You can hear the classical in it. So if you even know a little classical music or not, or just want to act like you're playing classical, it's just you're taking your minor and you're making it melodic. So you're not really doing that. You're just taking that right there and you're making melodic. Say, for instance, I'm just picking numerous notes out of here. Same skill I taught you earlier. Once you learn that, you can even use that because it's classical. Back to that diminished half I taught you earlier. How you doing? Now we done touched on a couple of bases of worship. It's one more basis of worship we're gonna touch on. When you go to a church and you really don't know the atmosphere, you really don't know the type of worship they do, it's always good to go to basic church. I'm gonna teach you the basic church notes. We're gonna go to A flat. That's really familiar with the pastors. They always in A flat. Now this is what I call it a tritone on top of a major chord. Anytime I'm playing in A flat, the tritone for that is, usually I put my whole major chord on that. So, and sometimes I even put my 6 on it. So if I'm in A flat, I'm playing A flat, F, C, and F sharp. Sometimes I hit A flat with my thumb, hit both of them with my thumb, but sometimes I don't. So it just, that's the chord. Always remember, you don't have to move all the time. You can just move 2 or 3 fingers. Tritone fingers. Fifths. See how I'm sustaining this? It's keeping them moving while I'm playing chords on top of it. It's basic church. Diminished, remember? You can even do them kind of chords backing up the pastor. A lot of Baptist preachers, they like to sustain feel. So the basic church feel is, I call it the Baptist feel because I call it that's the basic church feel. And you can sustain it. Let's say, for instance, you're in the same key. Back to what most musicians play. They stay in between here and here. They're right here. So if you're there, them are number thirds. We didn't get into thirds, but it's simple. If you're in major scale, A flat major, taking that to the octave down. Taking that down here. So I got these 2, and I got these other 2 notes that's in the same note. See? So I'm taking them 2, taking that out, put them on the end. And I'm moving. So say for instance, I'm in the same key. And you can stay right there when you don't really know the atmosphere. And they'll let you know to go to a song or not to go to a song from there. Okay. Another concept to worry about when you're on stage and you're playing and you're worshiping, try to keep it simple and sweet. You want to keep it You want to keep it flowing. You want to do too much, but you don't want to do too less. You want it to be sweet, but you want it to be simple. Okay? So I'm finna show you something that I do to try to keep it simple and sweet while I'm in worship. It's always good to sometimes start on a 4. Remember your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Start on the 4. I'm in C sharp, and my 4th for C sharp will be F sharp. Okay? So I'm starting on the 4. Remember, anytime you're going into worship, you can always start on 4, and it kind of wake the people up. If you see anybody sleep in the audience, play a 4 and watch what happens. They'll get up. They'll start getting up because 4, it kind of brings the change to wherever you are. If you're in C sharp and you're in the 1, when you get to that 4, it's like, okay, what we doing? So if you start them off on a 4, because they already not participating with you, start them off on a 4 and watch what happens. And the reason I say the 4 is because you don't even have to play bass notes. You can just play if you in this key, the 4, so pretty. So we're in worship. Remember I told you about the 1 sustainer? 4, 6, 2. That's good. Keep it melodic. You want to never just, because what happens is it's kind of grasping. You want to keep it melodic. So it's, see, I roll in everything. Now, if you're on the organ, you'll have a different feel. So if you're on the organ, yeah, you're going to sustain it. But anytime we're talking about piano now, anytime you're dealing with the piano, okay, you want to keep it melodic. Even if you got learn them. What I'm doing right there is I'm rolling. I'm taking a roll of the same scale. Fifths, I taught you that earlier, okay? Fifths, same thing. Learn your fifths, because they help you. They're everywhere. Okay? Learn that about your fifths. Keep it real melodic when you're playing worship. We have touched in basses in worship. We have touched in whole notes. We have touched in diminished. Now I want to deal in praise. There's so many ways to praise God: fast, medium tempo, slow. I'm going to give you the kind of way you praise God at offering time, or you praise God during times of the service where sometimes it's silent, but it's supposed to be something going on, but the musician don't know what to play. So I'm going to give you a feel of what to do between. This is okay for offering or, gathering the people getting together, but somebody got to know how to sing. Okay, here we go. Basically, that's just a groove. And what I'm doing with the groove is showing you that the same diminished I put in there, you can use that in your groove. You can also use your whole steps in your groove. This is praise, because praise is something you want to get people to move. People are supposed to be moving. Unsaved people and saved people, when you hit that piano or you hit that thing, both of them are supposed to be grooving. If somebody's not grooving, it's not their fault, it's your fault. Okay? So, as a musician, remember, if they're not grooving, it's not because they don't like to get up, it's because you're not making them move. We are here to make people move. So, I'm gonna go back to the same thing real quick. I'm gonna play a little more to see if I can make some people move a little bit. I use both concepts in there so you can see what I was doing. I'm finna break it down for you. It's the same thing. But remember about the perfect chord. Okay, we was in E flat when I was showing you the perfect chord. Now I'm taking this same chord and I'm in B flat. And I'm starting on the 4. Remember what I told you about starting on the 4? I'm just starting on the 4, and the 4 is E flat. So I'm in B flat, but I'm playing the E flat perfect. But I'm starting on the 4, okay? And when you start on the 4, it kind of gives people a reason to get up, because they're not the number 1 now. We at the number 4. So I don't know. I call it crazy. I call it out crazy, but it works. It works. Try it. Another form of praise and worship for praise would be, a lot of people like to shout. So I'm just gonna give you a little shout music. It's one run particularly that I want to elaborate and teach on. I'm gonna play some shout music, but it's one run in particular I'm gonna teach you, and it's 2 different types I'm gonna teach you, and we're gonna get into that. All right, here we go. Okay, basically that's basic church. It's nothing too big about it. Just learn that churchy type of music anyway, regardless of what pretty chords you got. Learn basic. Okay, this is what I was doing. Back to our diminished theory. Okay, back to there. We're gonna break that up to make it a run. F, C sharp, C, B flat, G, back to F. Okay? It's a run. So you gotta practice that over and over to get there. You ain't gonna get it overnight. So it's that run will come in effective if you learn how to do it properly anywhere. Because Tritones. Remember your tritones. Okay? Them are very, I would say, very, very important chords in praise because a lot of people nowadays, we're all trying to reach a goal. We're trying to come up with something that is not one-sided. It's all-sided. And usually we all can get with that. Some people can't get with the jazz. Some people can't get with the classical. Some people can't get with the Baptist. But anytime you go to that type of worship, everybody can get with it. It consists of playing 6, then playing 3. My bad, I'm sorry. Playing 6, playing 4, playing 5, playing 1. Going back and forth. And that's a lot of guitar players use that type of feel. Let me break that down in beat for you. A regular A flat minor. B major is a relative of A flat minor. Remember that. It's a relative, okay? So, if it's that relative, 6, 4, that's the E. Regular E, okay? 5 is F sharp. And the 1 is B. What I do a lot of is that perfect, I keep telling you about that perfect chord. Sometimes I press these two on accident, but that goes with it. It's just these two. Okay? So. Them 4 chords are important. If you learn them chords right there, you can play for anybody, anywhere, because everybody is familiar with them. I want to touch on this worship song. I'm going to teach y'all a worship song. Adoration and Praise. I like the song, and I'm going to just break down. I'm going to play it simple first, and then I'm going to put a little Tony in it, and put a little Diminished in it, and put a little whole chords in there, put a little praise in it, put a little worship in it, so you can just see the different bases I was touching on earlier. Okay, that's part of the song. So I'm gonna break down just the clutterness I did in it, and then the whole notes I'm gonna put in there. So, say for instance, you play "I Love You, Jesus." Remember what I said about playing fifths with your left hand. All thing I'm doing there right there is I'm taking my chord and I'm putting a tritone in there. Okay? It's the same fifth. Lord, I love you. Okay. Same fifth. 2, walking it up. Cluttered. Fifth. A lot of people don't know that chord. That's that whole step I keep telling you about. See, if you're in this key right here, you can always go a whole step up. Can't go 2 whole steps up unless you're trying to be crazy with it. But you always gonna go 1 whole step up. And then bring it right back down with the diminished. So okay. I love you, Jesus. 4. Remember? 4, I love you, Jesus. 6. 7. Remember you played the 7 with the 5. 1, 2. See that 2? 3. 4. So it's 4, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, and 4. 1, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4.